So you're thinking about moving to Orange Beach, Alabama, Gulf Shores and surrounding areas. Well, today I am going to be discussing the key differences between Orange Beach and Gulf Shores. I have been asked this question a number of times throughout my years here, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a video on this very topic. I've been here 22 years, so I'm going to offer quite a bit of perspective. I have lived in both communities for almost equal amount of time. So a lot of the content in this video you're not going to find on Google or ChatGPT. It's my personal opinion, but there will be quite a bit of factual data in this video too. So if you're interested in learning the differences between the two, you're definitely going to want to check this video out. So let's get to it. Hey guys, if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and ring the little bell so you can be one of the first ones to learn everything there is to know about the current market conditions in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and surrounding areas. My name is Aileen Fountain, along with my partner Andy Hollis. We do these videos each and every week just to be informative, just to let you know what it's like to live here, vacation here, and own property here. So if you're interested in our area, give us a call, shoot us a text, email us, set up a Zoom. We would love to meet with you face to face. We would love to help you make a smooth move to our little slice of paradise. So as I mentioned, we are going to discuss the differences between Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. The content of this video is really going to be twofold because, we have two different, very clear differences in the types of people wanting to own property here. We have the people who are looking for a vacation property that they're going to come down and use a couple times a year, and they would like to rent it out the rest of the year on a short-term basis and have that property pay for itself or make money depending on how much money they're cash money they're putting into it. And then we have the people who are truly relocating here full-time to live our coastal lifestyle. And in conjunction with that, you have true second home owners who, whether it be they are wanting to live here half the time and escape the cold up north, or just want a second vacation home property that they're not really necessarily driven by the rentals. We see all three of these scenarios on quite a big basis, and the dynamics there have changed a lot, especially as these communities have grown. We will get into that more later in this video, but for now, so there's approximately 32 miles of coastline between Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. That does include Fort Morgan. So basically, Orange Beach starts at the Floribama. It's a very famous landmark there. And most of you know about. The divider between Gulf Shores and Orange Beach is the Gulf State Park. So that divides Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. And then down Fort Morgan Road, about the first 10, it's about 22 miles long. About the first 10 miles are all still in the city of Gulf Shores, and the next approximately 12 miles is unincorporated county. Fort Morgan area is not a part of the city of Gulf Shores. So first key advantage Orange Beach has, and it is a pretty big one, you will notice that Orange Beach has a much wider, denser beach. And that is significant because it allows larger buildings, it allows more amenities. That's a big one. You will notice in Gulf Shores, a lot of the newer buildings that were built between 2004 and 2006, they either have a small pool to the side that doesn't proportionately match the building size, and you kind of scratch your head and you're like, why did they put such a small pool here? It's not because the developer was cheap, it's because that was all that they could do. And then you see, like a couple of the other buildings that are newer that have really long, thin pools out in front of the buildings, not a ton of seating space around it, very narrow. And again, that is why, is just because they utilized the footprint the best that they could for the amount of beach that they were able to build on. So that's a key difference you will notice in looking at the two communities. The second key difference, and this is another big one where Orange Beach gets an advantage, is the water gets clearer and prettier the further east you go. So, if you down Fort Morgan, and if you're all the way at the end of Fort Morgan, that's where Mobile Bay empties out into the Gulf. So you've got darker water there down Fort Morgan. And then as you come into Gulf Shores, it gets clear. As you go into Orange Beach, it gets even clearer. And oftentimes you will see actual turquoise water in Orange Beach that is absolutely gorgeous. I've never gone over the pass and not really reflected or taken in how beautiful our area is. You've got the pass going out to the Gulf and sugar white sand there at the state park going one direction, and you've got Bird and Robinson's Island going the other, where year round, there's always people in boats out there at those islands enjoying our beautiful coastal life. That's the second big advantage Orange Beach has. The third advantage that Orange Beach has is there's just simply more restaurants and bars and live music than Gulf Shores. Orange Beach has got the iconic Floribama. Let's just start there. Our favorite bar and restaurant. Let me say that back. Our favorite place to go hear music and favorite bar. You've got, Zeke's, Big Fish. You have the Wharf. You have the amphitheater at the Wharf that brings in, music all year long. Huge acts, great acts. They really have done a great job of bringing in really high quality musical talent to our little area. So a lot more, in my opinion, a lot more to do nightlife wise in Orange Beach than Gulf Shores. That does kind of even out when you start talking about events and festivals, which we will get into later. But just from a day-to-day, where I want to go out to eat or where I want to go listen to live music, Orange Beach trumps Gulf Shores all day long, in my opinion. And then the next aspect that really gives Orange Beach an advantage is the boating aspect. Orange Beach is well known for its world-class fishing. So many properties that have access to the water in Orange Beach, whether it is condos or residential properties, lot of boat slips, dedicated boat slips, deeded boat slips that give you access to this water, to this lifestyle, to this fishing. Lots of restaurants that you can get to by boat in Orange Beach. So just overall, Orange Beach does have an advantage in some real key areas. With that comes a higher price tag. Orange Beach is more expensive than Gulf Shores on a price per square foot basis. I also find that overall Orange Beach has more luxury options in both residential and condo properties. Now, both areas, both cities, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, do have a very healthy mix of things built in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. But Orange Beach most certainly has the edge on more luxury, larger buildings, better amenities, prettier water, and more to do. With that being said, we'll go into some pros that Gulf Shores has. Gulf Shores is more walkable. It's more pedestrian friendly. It has an actual landmark that you can tell people called the T. I mean, it's kind of like a downtown, but it's not because we're just two small beach towns. So, but we've always said, okay, you go to the T. Well, the T is where Highway 59 intersects in with Beach Road. And right there at the T, you can come straight into the park, the beach, where we have public beach. We have a beautiful concrete boardwalk. We have the Hangout Restaurant, Pink Pony Pub, greenery, area for kids to play, an actual park vibe there with beautiful, gorgeous beach, tons of access there, plenty of parking. You got showers, lifeguards, restrooms, and then the two restaurants right there. Now you can also, it is getting more and more pedestrian friendly, which is the goal of Gulf Shores, is to make that area very, very pedestrian friendly. They have improved that area dramatically over the years and really made it a nice, walkable area. There's other areas of Gulf Shores and just in general is more walkable. So that is one advantage to Gulf Shores. Gulf Shores also has some really iconic festivals that they do every year. At the T specifically, we had the Hangout Festival, which really did give Gulf Shores national exposure, international exposure, because thousands and thousands of people came from all over to come to this festival every year. It rebranded last year to Sand in My Boots, which was wildly successful. Gulf Shores is I'm sure in the works. We won't have the festival this year, but is in the works on how to keep that going and how that will look in the future. But that festival absolutely has done a lot for our area, been quite a topic of controversy for locals. But after a survey was done, it was determined that the vast majority of locals were in favor of this festival. In addition to that, they host the collegiate volleyball tournament and did for 12 straight years there at the T, in conjunction with a youth beach volleyball tournament that went alongside of it. And that particular event is in California last year and this year, but returns to Gulf Shores in 2027 for another 5 years. And then last but not least, is the Shrimp Festival, also held there at the T in Gulf Shores. And that festival is a fall festival that has been going on since 1971. So 55 years running, that festival is held, and it is very popular for locals and tourists alike. Absolutely love that festival. One advantage Gulf Shores has is having that true, dedicated space that everyone is familiar with, that kind of marks a downtown beach pedestrian vibe, if you will. Orange Beach has never had that same thing. However, a couple years ago, Coastal, which is a phenomenal restaurant there directly on the Gulf, opened up, and adjacent to it is resident parking for Orange Beach residents. And that has really changed the dynamic of Orange Beach having like an actual spot there in the middle of everything, right across from Publix, that you can say Orange Beach now has a similar vibe, a similar spot. They don't have the boardwalk and other aspects, but as far as restaurants go, I would pick Coastal all day long over the Hangout and Pink Pony. The vibe's phenomenal. Everything about it was just done right, and really did a great job and has improved Orange Beach having a spot there on the beach. Absolutely love that. So yeah, I would say the one area that Gulf Shores does have an advantage from a lifestyles perspective is it is more walkable, more pedestrian friendly. The beautiful, gorgeous city beach there at the T, they have, drastically improved over the years. It is gorgeous. Love the boardwalk. Actually meet a friend there just about every Sunday morning, and we go walk that boardwalk for about an hour. It's just, I guess, our time there to go talk and walk, and we enjoy that. And now my son got rollerblades for Christmas, so we'll definitely be down at the beach rollerblading. So that is one area. And then, Gulf Shores continues to try and improve the pedestrian friendliness of the city. We have what's called the Waterway District, which is more frequented by locals, and it is over there off the canal. There we've got the some really popular bars and restaurants there. You've got the Sloop, you have the brewery, you have Tacky Jack's Gulf Shores, you have Acme Restaurant, you have Galway, the Irish pub that's pretty new, and some other little small diners right there that are all walkable. Coming up is a pedestrian only bridge that is essentially going to connect Lulu's to the Waterway District and will be for walkers and bikers. So that will alleviate some traffic off of 59 and make it much safer for pedestrians, because Holmes Bridge is not safe for walkers and bikers. So that is expected to be completed in 2027 and will it again improve upon the vision of Gulf Shores being pedestrian friendly. So I give that edge to Gulf Shores. Now we'll talk about what both cities have and have done well with, and that list is pretty good too. Both cities have really gained a lot of recognition, certainly regionally, even more so nationally. As I mentioned, Hangout Festival some of the other big events like the two major hurricanes of Ivan and Sally and the oil spill of 2010 all brought a lot of national attention to our area. So people certainly know both towns way better than they ever did 10, 15, 20 years ago. Both areas continue to have forward-thinking vision. Both areas very much understand the dynamic between keeping a healthy balance of a high quality of life for our residents in conjunction with tourism being such an important factor to our community, to our county. And so that balance is something that is very important to both towns as we grow. For a long time, I mean forever, 20 years ago, always heard of Gulf Shores being referred to as the Redneck Riviera. In Orange Beach 20 years ago was hardly even known. Really small community of about 5,000 full-time residents back then. When I first moved to Gulf Shores in 2004, you could not even get sushi on the island or anywhere in Gulf Shores or Orange Beach. You had to go to, there was one tiny little dive spot in Perdido Key, but other than that, you had to go to Pensacola to even get something like sushi. It was both communities were very small. Back then, Gulf Shores probably had about 8,000 full-time residents. So communities have grown tremendously, but Gulf Shores specifically was better known and nationally, I would say, even though still very small communities, not well known. Then 2004 happens and we get hit by Hurricane Ivan, really put Gulf Shores on the map. The eye of Ivan came up Highway 59, did a lot of damage to both Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. But one positive that came from that, and I had just moved here about 6 months before, is that it got rid of all the old, the ugly. So we kind of went out with the old and new emerged in Gulf Shores. You will see a lot of our condo buildings were built between 2004 and 2006. So we have quite a few buildings that were built in that time frame, really reshaped the city of Gulf Shores. And then in 2014, the mayor came in and implemented a 10-year vision, really taking it a progressive approach to it and really just changed the vibe of Gulf Shores. We really shed that Redneck Riviera reputation or slogan, if you will. Gulf Shores was rebranded to Small Town Big Beach, which I absolutely love that slogan. It fits very well and I think is really representative of our little town. So in addition to the downtown area, if you will, the pedestrian friendly city beach, both cities have really nice public beaches, state parks, if you will. You've got the Gulf State Park that separates the two beach communities, but you have other city and state access, beach access, public beach access in both communities. I think both are very nice with their access to the beaches for the public. Both cities are going to benefit from the airport expansion in Gulf Shores with Allegiant Airlines coming into Gulf Shores. Both communities will benefit from that. Both communities have access to the nature trails. The backcountry trail is what it's called. It's 28 miles of paved trails that you can walk, ride bike, rollerblade, e-bike through the state park. You have entrances from Gulf Shores and from Orange Beach, so both cities benefit from that. Both cities will benefit from the new bridge that is being built right now and projected to open in 2026. If you come down Foley Beach Express, you will see where they have veered off just before the toll, and they are bringing another bridge over the canal. It will drop, it will come down to a roundabout on Canal Road where you can take a right and go east into Orange Beach, or you can take a left and go west into Gulf Shores. That roundabout is definitely a differentiating landmark, you know, pretty close there. You go a little bit of ways and you'll be into the city of Orange Beach, because that land is actually owned by the state right there. And then you go west into Gulf Shores, and once you hit about 24th Street is where you enter into the city of Gulf Shores. But thank you, AlDOT, for that. That is going to be a huge improvement for traffic to our area that both communities will definitely benefit from. So how they're going to do it is southbound traffic will be taking the new bridge. Northbound traffic out of town will be the Foley Beach Express. I definitely see Orange Beach benefiting more from the northbound traffic. Both cities will benefit from the southbound traffic. And then, of course, we still have Highway 59, which was always traditionally the main artery into Gulf Shores. So now, you know, you have the 3 bridges and 3 avenues to maintain traffic. Well done. Very much looking forward to that and excited about that. So another big key detail that both cities have, so it's not really a differentiator, it's just different, is both cities broke away from the county and created their own city school systems. This is probably one of the best things that could have ever happened to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Gulf Shores broke away in 2019. Orange Beach followed a few years later in 2022. And the impact for local residents and, you know, what's going to continue to fuel and grow our full-time resident here in the 2 communities are these 2 school systems. They are absolutely so exciting to have. I'm going to go over a little bit of the differences between the 2. The Gulf Shores is getting ready to complete its new high school. It's a $137 million brand new facility. It is 287,000 square feet. It is set to open up and accommodate the current population of 1,000 students at Gulf Shores. It does have capacity to expand another 800 students and accommodate a total of 1,800 students, which is just planning for the future. As we know, our community will continue to grow. They do have the ability to expand that. What the current middle school will move into the current high school, and the current elementary school will expand into the current middle school. So everybody is going to get an upgrade when the new high school opens up. Gulf Shores residents are very, very excited about the new high school. Orange Beach has also done some very exciting things. Their school system, they just completed a $46 million athletic facility, including a 3,500 person stadium for football and soccer. They have an 8-lane track. They have a giant video jumbotron. They've got a 1,200 seat gymnasium. They built a field house with weight rooms, covered practice areas, and a kinesiology building to support the athletics there. Really awesome. They also have performing arts building there at the middle school and high school, which I kudos to that, because, you know, so many school systems around the country are cutting performing arts altogether. And Orange Beach has its own building for performing arts. So Orange Beach is a smaller school system with approximately 1,200 students and approximately 15-to-1 student to teacher ratio. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Gulf Shores is the larger community, has approximately 18,000 full-time residents, also has a larger landmass, especially factoring in the north side of the intercoastal. So has approximately 28 square miles. That does include 5 miles of water. So the net is approximately 22 miles of land in Gulf Shores. Orange Beach has a population of approximately 9,000 full-time residents and has approximately 16 square miles with approximately 1 mile of water, so net of 15 miles of land in Orange Beach. Not as much land north of the intercoastal. However, one big project coming to Orange Beach is Margaritaville, which will be north of the intercoastal. and that will be a very exciting new project for the area in general. Both cities do a very good job of balancing quality of life for residents as well as tourism. Both cities understand the magnitude of the importance of tourism and continuing to manage our growth for both full-time residents and for vacationers here. That balance, I think, is definitely very important. Both cities understand that, and both cities have implemented 10-year vision plans called 2035 for each community. So both are really looking to the future and planning for the growth. Absolutely key there. Another really important thing, in addition to them both towns being fiscally very strong, is that both towns are excellent in the aftermath of a hurricane. Both have very strong leadership in that capacity. Both cities very fast at the speed to recovery. After a storm, you will see cleanup happening immediately. The speed to action and getting both towns back up and running is a very important detail, whether you want to live here full time or you want to own a short-term rental property in this area, because it is absolutely paramount that you get back up and running as quick as possible. And both cities have huge reserves earmarked specifically for hurricane readiness and being prepared in the aftermath of a storm. And then both prioritize a family-friendly environment from both a vacation standpoint and a long-term resident standpoint. We are not Panama City. We don't want to be. We do not cater to any kind of partying unless it's at the Floribama. But we are very family friendly, from the activities that we do to the events that we host to the restaurants that we have. Very much caters to families, and we absolutely love that. We love that that identity here that our communities have. Love that they have put so much into our children and the future with the education system here. Has been one of the best things that ever could happen to both areas. At the end of the day, it really just depends on which community checks the most boxes, and keep in mind that budget will also play a factor in that. And then I definitely want to make sure that this gets pointed out. Fort Morgan and Ono Island were not considered in any of this as far as landmass goes, as far as being a part of the city school system or a part of the city. Both are unincorporated. Neither one of those are zoned for the city schools. They are zoned for Foley County School System. So that is an important thing that you will want to note if that is something that you're thinking about. Ono Island, you cannot short-term rent. So that is not going to be a property you're going to want to vacation. As far as an investment property goes, that's going to be more of a second home or full-time residence. And Fort Morgan, you absolutely would say the majority of those properties there are vacation or short-term rentals, but unincorporated and do not have access to city services. Final thing I'm going to conclude with here is, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, although very small communities, both full-time residents and total land mass, please understand that between Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and this does include Fort Morgan, you have 230 condo complexes, including Gulf Front and non-Gulf Front. So that is a very, very complex amount of inventory that has to be understood. This does not even account for another 100 plus subdivisions between the two communities, and those subdivisions can be broken down as more beach cottage and more short-term rental vibe versus subdivisions that you would want to live in full-time that are not going to allow short-term rentals. So the inventory is very complex, and we have so much of it here as far as the diversity of it. Very, very important that you understand all this. This is not a market that you want to navigate alone, because you could end up wasting days, weeks, months trying to really sift through and understand the inventory. You do want somebody who understands that, so that when you tell them what it is you're looking for, what you're trying to accomplish, that they can best suit and help direct you into the right property for you. So hope you found this information helpful on Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. It is often referred to as an island. It is actually an island. However, that island is split into two communities, and then you also have parts of the communities that are north of the island. So a lot of different dynamics there. And hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, we hope to see you around town.
I get flip-flops and your shades that tip the sand. Where the Gulf breeze blows, it's a wonderland. Orange Beach living, oh it feels so right. From sunrise